Yeah, we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a Friday evening and I'm joined with my brother from another mother. Apple, what's going on, Apps?
You telling me, Rich, you good?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just trying to get through this lockdown period. Lockdown number 2, man. It sounds like a bad movie, but you know how it is, bro.
Well, listen, it's mad out there for a lot of people, man. It's very, very mad.
Yeah, trust me. I mean, look, the bright side is that I always say, look, it's the halfway stage. It's half time. We've got less than 2 weeks to go now until we can get back on the green stuff and start playing some ball. So, yeah,
Hmm.
look at it that way. But, yeah, how have you been anyway during this period? Because I know you've been busy anyway.
Yeah, listen, yeah, it's been a busy time for me, man. Obviously, introduction of Apple Junior. It's been
Congratulations.
thank
Whee!
you, bro, thank you. So that's been entertaining. Unfortunately, the other half's not very well, so it's been all hands on deck, daddy daycare, innit? So it's just like making sure everybody's good. But on the plus side, obviously paternity leave from work, so that's all right.
Okay. There we go. Well, again, congratulations there. Adding to the squad. You're going to have
Yeah.
your own squad soon, innit?
Hey, listen, I'm nearly there, you know. Hey, listen, I'm nearly there, you know. Soon come, soon come. One more. I got the six aside, didn't it? We're soon.
Lord. Man said he's nearly there, like he's planning.
Enter the Stars League, innit? Enter the Stars League.
Hey, Money, if you're watching, look, he's going to have a team in 20 years' time. 20 years' time, he's good to go, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, listen, 20 years. I respect. Hey, listen, brother. Listen, respect my gene pool, innit? 20 years, brother. We're ready to go in 10. Come on,
Lord,
come on,
okay.
come on. We're ready to go in 10.
So we're talking Stars League 2030, yeah?
100, mate. 100. Listen, we'll be the champs then as well.
There we go. All right. Well, you know what? The reason why I wanted to bring you on is to get to know you more. Obviously, I see you on the sidelines doing your thing. Obviously, you manage at Takers, but I wanted to know more about you. So, what's your introduction into coaching first, and then we can move on to Takers later.
Boy, depends how much time you got. Do you want the undiluted or do you want the diluted? What do you want?
I mean, come on, we always want it undiluted, man. Come on, man. There's no filter with you. If you of all people, you,
Yeah,
come
look,
on.
look. Yeah, listen. Now, do you know what? I'm glad we're having this conversation because I think there's people see me on the touchline and maybe they see video clips and maybe they hear rumors, but they don't really know me like that. So it's probably a good thing that we have the conversation, and then I think maybe people will look at me a little bit differently, and they won't approach me the way that they do now because it's like I think sometimes people approach me already on the half step thinking they've got to say something to just in case, and I'm like, nah, it's not really that, man. It's not really that. Clips, you know I'm cool, man.
They're scared of you, man. You know what I mean? They're like, are you okay today?
No, they're not. They're not. No, they're not scared of me. Do you know what it is? It's one of those things. Just like they see me and they just think they have to, like it's like hit first before I get hit. So they say something wild, and I'm like, bro, don't say wild things, man. You'll set me off, man. But yeah, nah. So yeah, just me and coaching. Do you know what? It's not a short story. It's not a short story, and I'm not really a diluted kind of guy. So I just say, listen, I got into coaching because, well, I got into coaching. I always knew I wanted to be a coach. If I'm honest, I always knew, and first time I ever coached, I was about 13 years old, about 13, and it was one of the girls' teams at this legendary local club called Pinnacle Football Club, and this so there's a guy that ran the club called Cuthbert Martin, and like God, I say his name and I get goosebumps. Like my hands go sweat and I just get goosebumps because he was just like he's the kind of guy who just had like an aura. He had like a presence about him, and we'd all go training and whatnot. And I was always one of the loudest ones at training. No shock, I was like one of the loud ones at training. Always just talking. It's always talking. And Cuff would say to me, "Why do you transfer that onto the football pitch? Like, when do you go and help someone with that? You're so loud. Go and do something." So I thought, all right, cool. And one time, one of the coaches, Mick, wasn't there, and Cuff said to me, "Listen, look, I just need you to stand in, go and do a couple of things. I know you know what you're doing. Just go and enjoy yourself." So I said, "Okay, cool." I went in, so I had a little taste, and mate, it was just one session, just one, and I was addicted, man. I was addicted. From then, I knew no matter what happened when I was playing, I knew I wanted to be a coach. But to start with, it was like I didn't see coaching the way that I see it now. I saw it as like a football coach, like just teaching drills and that kind of thing. And it took me 5-6 years to realize that coaching was not about coaching the sport. It wasn't about football. It was about people. And it took for me to go through my own things as a child, as a kid, and you know, my background as a kid. And I'm not going to pull the violin and start strumming the violin, because I think everyone's got their own story. But you know, look, growing up, I didn't have a mum and a dad, so you know, I didn't have that family environment. I didn't have like a mum and a dad around me like that. So I was raised by my grandma. My grandma, old Caucasian lady, Caribbean, very morally strong-minded, strong-hearted, strong-headed. You know, this is a woman that was raising 6 boys on her own. So if you're going to be the queen of 6 princes, you have to be strong. Do you know what I mean? And none of us are small. You know, I'm 6'3", and my brothers are 6'2" and 6'3" and 6'5". Like, we're big guys.
At least you had back, isn't it?
Listen, if you were playing knockdown ginger on my yard, it was long for you. It was long.
Imagine if the gate is open as well. Oh my God, they come in.
Not even because of us, you know. Listen, my grandma was on job. It weren't long because of us. My grandma was coming out. She was on job. But yeah, in my household it was mad because we didn't really have a mum and a dad and that kind of thing around. So we had my grandma, and she kept us really humble, and she kept us disciplined, very well disciplined. And when we got to like a certain age, we kind of got to like 13, 14. And you know when the temptations outside of school and outside of football and those things start to call you there. And some of those temptations were calling some people louder than others. And unfortunately for one of my brothers, he kind of got drawn into that life. And from that day on, it was just kind of like everyone in the area kind of knew who I was for all the wrong reasons, not because of football, not because of me being a nice person, but they knew who I was because don't fuck with him because, you know, his brother's this and his brother's that and he's done this and he's done that. And it was like family history kind of things and his cousins. And so that was never really a good thing, to be honest, because it was always like the wrong kind of attention at the wrong time. Do you know what I mean? And it just makes it very, very difficult, especially when you're traveling, trying to play football and you're going here, there, and everywhere. And people are like, his brother done that and his cousin done that. And people are approaching you, talking mad. So it's just like, childhood was crazy, and I went through so many things. And it's like, I think the one thing that's worse than having no parents is having an inconsistent parent. So it's just like, my dad decided that he kind of wanted to show his face, and every time he came, it was like drama. I remember one time, it's just like, what? Like, I come home from school, my dad was there, and it was like having a fight with my brother. And my brother's a big guy, and he's no slouch, but my dad's an even bit like my dad's 6'7". That and
your gene was mad, bro. What?
No, it's mad. It's mad. So like my dad's 6'7", and they're going at it, and it's just like, it was mad. And anytime I see my dad, I know it's gonna be drama. There's some violence. There's some madness that's going on. So it always came with drama. And when you're growing up and you see that, it's like you become very, very conflicted, and you never really understand what normality is. So like, you know, your take on family life. I'm watching all of my friends. And my choice of friends weren't the same as my brother's choice of friends. So I'll go home sometimes, it would just be full of hood legends, like just hood guys, like walking, like coughing lungs out because the yard is, you know what I mean? And it's mad. But like, whereas my friends, like the people that I chose to be friends with, which are more so really people to do with football, I'd like stay at their house as much as I could. You know, the ones you don't really want to go home because it's like you go home and you don't know what's going to happen from time to time. And so growing up like that, there was no real consistent understanding of what family was, of how you're really supposed to supposed to behave and how you're supposed to support yourself, sort of beyond the family home. And what I saw as success was not the same thing that other people see as success. Do you know what I mean? So what I saw as success was just surviving another day. And some of the things that were going on, I'm trying to be as honest and open as I can without divulging too much, because there's I think some people will understand it. You know what I mean? When I say about success or certain things, I'm sure the people that know that, you know, they'll really know. And and obviously that life caught up with my brother, and he went to jail. Cousins went to jail. Everybody around me really kind of went to jail. So by the time I hit 15, I was kind of on my own. And then the unthinkable thing happened. And my grandma died. And yeah, gets me. I can't. Yeah, it's difficult. But yeah, like my grandma died, and it was it's like for me, all of my aunts, my uncles, my mum, my dad, all of that influence, all that love from that one person was just gone.
Yeah.
And for a long time, I was just
together, right? She held it together.
oh yeah, like she was the glue for everything, man. Like for absolutely everything. Like when I used to play, I come home with like the local newspaper clippings and it had my name in it, and it's like he scored a hat trick and he scored twice and they've won these games. And my grandma would just be like, "Boy, like I'm so proud of you," like, and it was just like so I could just sit there and talk to her for hours. She had stories and she's just so inspiring. She's a woman of the world. Like she was a qualified doctor, but she was a nurse. Like she just like she was just so many things that she'd done, and I could just sit there and just talk to her for literally. It was the weirdest thing because she was an old lady, but she was young. Like, like she was old, but she was so connected to everything that was going on. Typically, with a woman or an old lady that's got 6, 7 male grandsons that she's raising, so of course she has to know what's going on. So she kept us patterned, but it's just like that. All that love, all that influence, all that guidance, all that knowledge, all that wisdom was just gone. Just like, and I was so lost, and all I had in my life was football, and.
So would you say like football kind of saved you in a sense? Because obviously you felt lost at the time because you lost someone that meant dearly to you, and then football came in and almost stopped you from going down the same direction as your brothers and your cousins, right?
Listen, I don't want to sound cliche and sing the "Football Saved Me" song because I know sports has saved a lot of people, but when I tell you that football saved me, when I tell you where I come from as a family. Our history as a family, mum and dad, brothers, cousins, like it's mad. Like it is mad. And football didn't just save me in terms of taking me away from those people, in sort of physically taking me away, but emotionally and mentally, how football saved me. Like my heart's beating right now just talking about because it's just like I don't think anybody people that haven't been through it will never really understand it, and they might listen to me talking about it and think, nah, it couldn't have been that deep. Like you have to be involved in it to really understand it. At 15 years old, I had nobody. I had nothing. I was traveling from Edgware on a pedal bike up to London Coney for training. I was every day, every second day, I was going from Edgware to Southgate to Tottenham to Edmonton on a pedal bike. I was doing whatever I could. Someone would call my house phone because I didn't have a mobile. People would call my house phone and be like, "Listen, there's a football match, blah 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 blah." Didn't matter who it was for. I was there. Like, I was there. I'd just go and play football, even if it was with a load of men. I'd just turn up and I'd go and play. Even when I was in the system, I'd still just turn up on a random Saturday, Sunday, and I'd go and put a kit on for the local men's team. And that was the playing aspect. But then it was like the coaching. I turn up to the local Sunday side, and I was coaching the kids. And then there's this one kid, so this one little kid called Bradley, and I don't know if he's watching, if I ever see that kid again, but he doesn't realize how much his struggle saved me, how much his struggle influenced my way of thinking. This boy Bradley came to me and he said, "Oh, Apple, my brother's asked me to hold this gun and blah, 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 blah." And I was just like, raw. And I was listening to this kid and he was 12. He was 12 years old. I'm 15. And in me explaining the rationale of why not to do this to him, helped me understand the rationale of why I should not walk down the same path as everybody else. And not many kids practice what they preach. Not many people practice what they preach, period. And I was 15 years old, lost. I had no one. I had nothing. I was talking to this kid and I was just like, I cannot believe what this little boy is going through. And then I was deep in it. I was thinking, "Oh, then apps, like you've gone through the same things. In fact, you've gone through worse." And I remember talking to this kid and persuading him to just stay away from this life. Like, stay away from it. Don't do it. Don't carry this. Don't do that. Don't sell that. Just I beg. And the kid was a baller, Clinton. The kid was he was fake. He was a fake, just a baller. Same kid signed at Arsenal. And no disrespect to him, but I never spoke to him again. And in a way, I'm quite happy that I didn't, because I wouldn't want to be a reminder of where he came from.
Yeah.
I want him to progress, keep going, and sort of turn the page and go on to do bigger and better things than where he come from. And if that means leaving me behind as well, I don't mind that. And then I kind of did what being a part of someone's process was. And I was thinking, this is coaching. Like, this is what coaching is. Like, you don't coach the sport. Like, the knowledge of the sport is the key that opens the door. Like, the coaching is of the person. Like, don't coach the player, like, coach the person. And when I understood that, and it's still very raw understanding of it, but once I understood what it was to coach someone as opposed to coaching a sport, I just said, this whole game, everything about it, all of it, this is me. This is all for me. And I just bathe myself in it every day. And it was like, to say that football saved me, not just as a player, but coaching as well, man, is an understatement. So from then onwards, I knew that I wanted to be a coach. So everything that I'd done, even from I was playing, I would listen to the things that my managers were telling me, all my coaches were telling me. And some of the guys that played with me from about 16 onwards, they'd all turn around and tell you, nah, Apps was like a fucking teacher's pet. And I was. Because listen, see those coaches, those managers, they had something that I wanted, Clinton. They had something that I needed. I didn't just want it, like, I needed it. Because if I didn't have that, I knew I weren't eating. I knew I wasn't surviving. My brothers can't look after me in jail. My cousins can't look after me from the grave. My mom can't look after me from hospital. My dad can't look after me from jail or wherever he is. So it was just like, whenever I went to football as a player, those coaches, those managers, they had something that I fucking needed. So I was listening. I wasn't just trying to please them. I was trying to draw information from them. I wanted to know everything there was to know, tactically, technically, physically, about football. And I was hoping that information would help me understand how they are, what they are, how they've become what they are, and how that would mold me as a young man. And then eventually, I understood what work ethic was and why we needed to work so hard. I captained every team I ever played for. Not because I was a leader, but because I understood information and I understood how to relay information. So when a manager was struggling and all he was doing was shouting, he'd come to me and he'd say, Apps, I need you to go and talk to these boys on a level and get them to understand the fucking importance of winning this football match. And I was one of those guys where, listen, look, I'm a sledgehammer and I look at everything as a nail. That's how I used to be anyway. I used to look at absolutely everything as a nail, and I'm a hammer, a sledgehammer. So I used to just be like, listen, boys, someone's in your way, move them. We're not trying to play football. We're not trying to tip-tap. We're not trying to be technical. Just if we have to fight, we'll fight. If we have to kick off, we'll kick off. So I come from the school of hard knocks. I come from the school of any means necessary. I come from the any means necessary process. And from that, I started to learn how to finesse and how to be more skillful with my approach and how to be a little bit more
and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But along the way, you learn a lot about motivating and a lot about communicating. And I think my strongest attribute as a man is how I communicate. Because if you can put me in a room full of millionaires, I'll be fine. Put me in a room full of hood guys, I'll be fine. Doesn't matter where I go, I can communicate with anyone. The reason being is because I've experienced life at ridiculous fucking levels, man. Sometimes I'd see my dad and he'd have, no joke, he'd have £500,000 in cash.
Right.
Other times I'd see my dad broke, holes in his trainers. And that's just my dad. Then I'm talking about the rest of my family. And the other people that they would associate with and the people that they knew and the people that they would meet up with, and we'd go to mansions sometimes. Me and my sister will go to mansions and we'll be there for a couple of weeks and we'll go to the south of England. We'll be in Poole, in Dorset, in Devon, houses in Sandbanks. Then we're in South London, in Brixton, in North Peckham Estate, back at the flat.
Isn't it? Like the you go from one side to the other, literally. Just it's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
But there's a beauty and a lesson in every struggle.
Yeah.
And all that taught me was how to interact with people at that end of the ladder, with people at this end of the ladder. So going through all of those things, going through the emotional roller coaster of hardship, helped me understand the middle ground. And I understood how I can fit in with people. I never really knew my place in life, and I still don't know my place in life. But I know my place in football, and I know that football gives me a purpose. I know that coaching gives me a purpose. And that has always grounded me, given me a bit of an anchor. It's given me a reference point to know where I start and sort of where I stand. And boy, yeah, it's mad. It's so mad. But my coaching journey has been a very, very long one. But I've always stayed loyal to grassroots football and amateur football because this is the platform that taught me the most about myself as a man. It taught me the most about myself, how to handle myself with dignity, how to handle myself with pride, how to win, how to lose. And it was just like all the lessons, without sounding corny and cliche, all the lessons that you learn from football are so relevant to life. It's so relevant to life. And a lot of these guys that are playing all now, guys at Takers, guys at Rising Ballers, guys at all of these great football teams, all these great people as well, potentially great people that can go on to do great things. Now, great is perspective, because great for me when I was a kid was staying alive, was not getting caught by the guys that my brothers got beef with and getting stabbed, was not getting caught by the guys that murdered my cousins, was not getting caught by the people that are looking to shoot so-and-so. So greatness for me was survival. It took me to get to 18, 19, 20 to understand that greatness now is living my passion. Live your passion. That for me is what living your truth is. It's just live your passion. Don't waste a day. Don't waste any time doing something that does not represent you or that doesn't do anything for you. You know, and that took me a long time to really understand. So, boy, yeah, football really saved me.
Before we, I'm just going to shout out some people in the stream before we move on to the next one. So, shout out to Ballers Empire saying, Gaffer, he's saying, what a life story as well, bro. Like, I wasn't even expecting that. I'm not going to lie to you, Apps. Wasn't expecting that. I was expecting, you know, coach at this team, so and so. But yo, we've just got started, guys. So bear with us. Also got a shout out Kev. He's saying, nah, Clint, how are you interviewing Mr. Takers and not wearing a Takers top? Disrespect. Well, I've got it there.
Wait, hold on, just so that people know. Hey, listen, mine's here, you know. Mine's here. Where's it there?
He's got his there. I've got mine there. The reason why I'm wearing this top is because I got this top through the post. You can see it there. It says, thank you, NHS, from Erdington United. So shout out to Erdington United, obviously based in Birmingham. Thank you for the top. Again, it means a lot to me. They sent me one shirt before saying hashtag Black Lives Matter. And again, this message is just as important as well. So
I couldn't show them the shirt. No, show them the shirt because that's a big shirt. That's a big top. I'm here for that.
Yeah, man. So this is the shirt that he sent me before. Again, from Erdington. So shout out to Erdington as well. And again, obviously, this is the one they sent me today. So thank you, NHS. 2 shirts that mean a lot to me because, again, without saying anything else, like Black Lives do matter. And obviously, like, thank you for the NHS because half of my family worked in the NHS when they came over during the Windrush era. So again, Daniel John got a shout out to you as well. Big up Apple. I couldn't agree with you more. As coaching is a lifestyle, not just a sport. Shout out to you, Coach Dan, as well. Shout out to Louis Benjamin saying big up Westcott. Shout out to Reese Taylor as well. These lives keep getting better. Big gap for Apple. Now I want to see his 11. Don't worry, his 11 is coming. Don't you think I'm gonna let you get off the hook? Nah, sir. My guy At's inspiring, bro. Shout out to you, Cameron Cook. And then we've got the one and only Rondo. Shout out to Rondo as well, listening in as well, man. So yeah, look, moving on. I know we started off with your coaching career. You said you started at 13.
Yeah.
Oh, moving on to where you are at now. So correct me if I'm wrong. You're at MK. Is that correct?
Yep, MK Dons. Yeah, I'm a YD phase coach, lead coach, and YD phase. Some other information. I can't really let that information out right now. Can't really let that out right now.
Exclusive, man. Come on, man.
There are other things. Going on.
But explain to people that don't know what YD, is like.
All right. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Right. So in the academy system, you've got 3 phases in the academy system. You've got your foundation phase, which is sort of your younger footballers between the ages of 6 and 11. Then you've got your YD phase, which is kind of what I think a lot of people would call the money phase. That's where kids really progress, and it's when you really see the ballers at that kind of age. And that's from under 13s up to under 16s. And then you've got your professional development phase, and that's obviously goes from under 18s right up to your first team.
Right. So you're potentially handing a lot of money in terms of who you're working with and all the rest of it. Like potentially going to the first team, if not, they can make a pretty penny out of them somewhere down the line. So again, it's a lot of responsibility on your hands. I mean, from hearing what I was hearing before, like how do you deal with all that pressure?
Listen, I'm the kind of person where if I don't have pressure, I will not ever be at my best. Like everything I do every day, I'm under pressure. Listen, I'm a dad. There's pressure right there. So it's just like every time I get up to go to work, I've got pressure. I have to make sure that I'm the best at what I do because I can't afford to lose my job. So and I think maybe that shows when I go to work. I'm passionate, but I'm not just passionate about what I'm doing. I actually care about the people that I'm working with. And we talk about things like work ethic and communication. Sometimes when you go to work, there's some people that you work with that make it worthwhile. It genuinely makes you want to turn up. And there's one boy at MK, one in particular, that when I go there, even if I'm coaching another group, I'm looking out for him. Because the second I see him, I just get goosebumps. Because the kid is just like, he's incredible. His mindset, his work ethic, his drive. When I see it, and he's polite, his respect. And when I see him and he sees me, man, it's like, that's my other son. He's like, hey. And I'm like, hey. And he's like, oh, yeah. And the amount of love and enthusiasm and respect there is absolutely nuts. And it's people like that make you want to be at a place like MK Dons. It makes you want to be at a place like Reading or Crystal Palace or wherever it is that you work. Every coach will know what I mean when I say this. There's always one or a few people that really, when you see them, you're like, yeah. And like people like that, it makes me want to be at my best because I want to see him at his best, you know? And I want everybody else to be at their best. So it's just like, and in fact, that one kid commented already on this page, and it's just like, it's really inspiring to see the work ethic of others, and how can that inspire you to continue your own growth process, rather than just focusing on improving other people. Yeah. How can you still also focus on improving yourself, and that itself has to be a constant in your life as a man. You know, your self-improvement has to be above all else.
Okay.
If you're not good for yourself, you're not good for anyone else.
Of course. Now, shout out to you. You probably know who you are in chat, but again, if he's talking about you, then you must be a special guy, because if Apple's looking out for you every single time, you can't let him down, man. Again, you seem like you've got a bright future ahead of you. So,
listen, he knows this. Cam knows this, and if he doesn't know, he definitely knows now.
So. He knows now. There you go. And again, you can use this as proof, Cam, as well. So there it is. You can clip it up like, yo, yeah, Apps, you said this, man. So yeah, it is what it is. We're going to now transition over to Takers. Now, before we get into Takers, I'm just going to run one of 3 clips just to kind of get you to grips of what Takers is like with Apple on the side.
We're just zigging when we should be zagging, and it's not good enough, because games are won and lost on percentages, margins, small margins. 1% is the difference. You've cut them open 4 or 5 times. Don't rely on the referee to give free kicks. Don't rely on that. If you're going to fall on top of the ball. A little bit of game management. Act like you know what you're doing. Pretend you got some sense. You grown men act like it. For the love of God.
There you go. That's just a small little smidgen of what is in store with Apple. And again, don't worry, I'm coming to the juicier parts. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
Clint.
But yeah,
listen, I said it to you. I knew you was gonna try and put me in a spot. I knew you was gonna stick it on me. But go on, carry on. Just remember. I'm gonna see you again. Just remember, I'm gonna see you.
There's this. I'm gonna see you again. You know, I want to see you again. There is coming out. Look. But yeah, look. If you don't know, so Apple is the gaffer at obviously Takers FC. So yeah, tell me how that all came about, because obviously it started from this season. So talk to me about the conversation that you had with Ricochet and the boys and how you've managed to kind of get in there.
First off, I'm not the gaffer at Takers. I'm the head coach.
Oh,
There's
sorry.
only
Okay.
One gaffer at Takers, and I will say that with full respect because I love the guy like he's my blood brother. Ricochet is a fucking.
I give Ricochet a different title. I say he's head honcho. He is Mr. Takers. I know you as the gaffer, the coach, but
okay, I understand. All right, cool. I understand that. I just wanted to make that clear and make sure that the gaffer knows that it's always respect from me to him.
Yeah. Come on, Ricochet. Come on, bro.
Listen. Forget Takers. If you knew him as a man, and I know a lot of people think they know him, even people that are really, really close to him think that they know him. Listen, he's a very good man. Mm-hmm. I don't say that about many people. He's a very, very good man. And how I judge a man is about how he looks after his family and the people that he loves the most. And what I see from him is just like die hard family. Like if you see the way he is with his daughter, listen, see me. I don't care what anybody thinks about me in life, ever. I will be silly and be that guy that's singing Taylor Swift with my daughters out loud in public. I'll be doing the maddest things with my daughters and my sons. Listen, it's nuts. Ricochet's exactly the same. He's not afraid to look silly and be a dad and be a father. Like that's someone that's never gonna abandon or avoid their responsibilities as a person. And that resonates with me. Like I like that as a person. I like that about people. And when I see that, I'm just
not afraid to look fly as well in Dubai. I saw you, bro, making us all, making me jealous. I'm like, yo, man.
Yeah. He was stunning. But no, Shay is serious. I'm not gonna lie to you. I forgot the question. You say Takers.
No, but how the link up came together, Takers FC. Look, you went on a tangent there, but shout out to Ricochet every single time.
I had to make sure that the respect was noted in it. Yeah, so you know what? So obviously, being from the same area, we'd spoken a lot over the sort of the last few years, kind of about his vision and his direction, the things that he wanted to do, and I was still in the middle of my own process. And I said, look, I'm still in the middle of my own process, but I'm at a very different point in my own process. And having a lot of experience with organizing things and sort of man management and having run teams and clubs and academies and all sorts of things myself, I felt like as if I had something to offer in terms of experience and advice for him. So when he came to me, I think it's like one day he just sort of texted me out of the blue, and I was just like, "Yeah, what you saying, my bro?" And he's like, "Yeah," and it was just like small conversation, kind of about sort of the direction of the things that he wanted to do, and I made some suggestions, and I think he was obviously trying to do that. And I had a feeling that maybe he wanted me to get involved, but he didn't know how to ask, and he didn't want to approach it like that. And I just thought, listen, if he wanted me involved, he'd ask. Just leave it there, and if he needs me, obviously I'm going to leave a man drowning. I'm going to go and help him, innit? And do you know what? He literally just me to said, listen, Apps, all the things that you said to me have come to pass. And I've never really seen football like this. Look, this is the direction. This is where we want to go. We want to do all those things that you said we're capable of doing. But we need help to do that. So I sort of said, okay, cool. Like, what can I do? And he said, listen, I want us, if we're going to be successful off the pitch and we're going to do all these great things off the pitch, I want us to be great on the pitch. So I said, okay, cool. I said, look, I can't guarantee that we'll be great, but I can guarantee I'll give you everything. And it's just like, look, there's no guarantees of football because you can have a world-class coach. You can go with a world-class team and you can achieve absolutely nothing. You can have a dog shit coach go with a dog shit team that can win everything. And it's just kind of the way of the world. So I just said, look, I'll give everything that's a given. Yes, I've got other distractions. Yes, I've got other things that's going on. But sorry, let me rephrase, because if I do something, I do it wholeheartedly every time. So even if I am doing 5 other things, I assure you I will never be distracted, because I give everything that I do the proper amount of attention and care that it kind of deserves and requires. So yeah, I just sort of said, look, I'll do what I can. Let me meet up with the boys, with the group, and just kind of see how everybody is. And my process is to always go in and assess the group first, and assessing the players, but also assessing the people that are surrounding the players. So I see Big T, Ghost, obviously Ricochet himself, and some of the media crew, and all those kinds of things. And I sort of looking around at people, and I'm having really honest conversations with Ricochet and sort of saying, look, this one, that one, they need to hang up. And if you don't do it, I'll do it, and it'll be done in a way that they might not like, because I'll be really, really direct. Because in this game, there's no time for bullshit. We have to say it how it is, and people respect the honesty. But the thing is, when you tell someone that something's not good enough, they believe it, because you can show them that it's not good enough. But put that on the flip side. When you tell someone that that is good, they will also understand that you are not chatting shit. You will not tell them something's good if it's bad. And I think that level of trust and understanding is so important. And the first person that I had that drama with really was Rondo. When I told Rondo he weren't playing up front, listen, he sulked, he was pissed off, he challenged me at every way, he was rude, he stopped being rude very quickly. The thing is, I'm going to draw a reference to all football, and I'm going to stick it on a few coaches. I'm going to stick it on a few professional coaches as well, academy coaches. See, all you academy coaches that are running around telling people about players having bad attitudes, you lot are all dickheads. I'm letting you know now, you're all fucking idiots. So you're not an educator. You're not a developer. You're a fucking clown. What you are is a pretender. Don't tell me about a player having a bad attitude. There's 2 types of coaches, those who can and those who can't. Everybody lives a different life, and we have a different path. And you have to understand that when these players turn up to training, everyone's got different burdens, different pressures on them, and they don't know how to channel that, and they don't know how to let that out properly. And sometimes people do have bad attitudes, but it's not their bad attitude that will affect how training goes or how their playing goes. It's you as a man, you as an individual, you as an educator, as a developer. If you're struggling to work with a player, you're struggling to work with him. It's your duty, it's your responsibility to get the best out of that person. So when Rondo challenged me, or when any player challenges me, I don't see it as a right, get him out the door, just because it's a challenge. That's what kind of bullshit is that? That in itself goes against, that it's contradictory. That in itself goes against everything that I am as a person. How can I be teaching a player not to quit if the second he challenges me, I kick him out? And, we're making massive decisions on players' futures, scholarships, pro contracts. I'm saying, now he's got a bad attitude. Maybe you're just a shit coach. Maybe you're just a shit communicator. Maybe you can't communicate. And the real problem is a lot of the coaches in academy football, and a lot of coaches in general, rather than taking time and understanding that he doesn't actually have a bad attitude, he's probably having a bad day, rather than figuring out a new way to communicate with him, they just try to remove the problem rather than try to adjust and probably learn something themselves and try and help that person.
No, I fully hear that. I mean, look, I'm glad you talked about that, the whole Rondo situation, because I knew of Takers before you got involved with Takers, and obviously Rondo was playing up front.
Yeah.
Doing well, nonetheless. But again, I've said this again, I'm going to say it again on stream. I think that's one of the master strokes that you did, that's moving him back. And already this season, I'm seeing him score worldies. You put the armband on him as well. Again, he's been in teams, like 2 of my teams that I've put in already. Like, that's just like those little things there that just says to me, yeah, Apps knows what he's doing. Not that I didn't think that before, but I'm just saying, like, yeah, those sort of things there, is that's what you bring to the table, so to speak.
No, thank you, man. I appreciate that. And I don't really like, listen, the boys Takers will tell you straight away, I don't like to do the interview, I don't like to do the camera stuff, because it's just not me as a man. But I will say this out loud.
The first game I got there was like, nah, man, allow that, bro.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, man, listen. I've just listened to you 90 minutes ranting. You're telling me nah, but you're like, nah, man. Don't worry, I had enough content to last me. No,
imagine, man, Jesus, no, man, bro, I can imagine.
You had more than enough content for me. I was like, why this guy, man?
You know what? The thing is, if you're not chasing perfection, then what are you chasing? For me, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, if you're not chasing perfection, you're chasing failure. If you're not, failure to prepare, and this is like a bit of a cliche, corny one, but it's true though. If you failing to prepare is definitely preparing to fail. So what kind of coach, what kind of developer would I be if I'm not calling people out on their mistakes? Now, if they're honest mistakes, trying to do the right thing, that's a part of their learning process. If they're doing bullshit off their own back, doing things that you've not asked them to do, doing things outside of that remit, well, then that's them fucking up. And then that's when you kind of have to drag them. But I just wanted to say, just on the whole Rondo situation, listen, let me tell you something. See that guy, that young man right there, yeah? I admire him. And I don't admire him for football reasons. I admire him because he's a very interesting case study for me. Because I look at someone who is, and this is with full respect, he's going to hate me for saying it. He is emotionally weak, but mentally, he's a lion. If you knew things that guy has seen, I know a lot about him and his life that he doesn't even know that I know, because we've kind of been connected for a lot of years and he really didn't even know it. That guy's a fucking lion. And the way that me and him are, we're like fire and water. He's the fire, I'm the water. And it's just like, he's always coming at me with heat. And he is used to doing that to people and people buckling and burning.
He's met his brother, you, I'm sure, isn't it?
And that don't happen when he comes to me. But the thing is, I don't discourage him from communicating with me like that, because I want him to be true to himself. I want him to be honest with how he's communicating, because it shows me what he's really thinking and what he's really feeling. If I'm telling the man to come to me with it,
it sounds good.
Sorry, I don't really know what's happened there. But yeah, if I'm telling a man to come to me with his tail between his legs all the time, I'm never really gonna see the person. I'm gonna see the version of him that I'm telling him I want to see, as opposed to what he actually is. And listen, Rondo comes to me, and players that challenge you with the bad attitude and the aggression, they're the guys that will actually push you as a developer to become a better developer. Once you learn how to deal with that person, you can recognize those traits in other people, and it helps you learn how to neutralize that. Now, the thing is, people like Rondo keep me on my A game, because if I'm ever talking shit or if I don't know what I'm talking about as a coach, trust me, the players are the first ones to know it. The difference is the ones that are outspoken and bad attitudes, they're the ones that will actually say it to you and make you feel like a dickhead. And rightfully so, because you shouldn't be turning up on the grass if you don't know what you're doing. Do not ever turn up to a training session and try to wing it. Don't go and give a team talk and try to wing it. Don't do it. The players see through it. Even the ones that don't speak, they might sit there and nod their head and pretend that they understand what you're saying. They will call you out on it. They pick up on it. So make sure that you always bring your A game. And people like Rondo, other players that I've coached at academy football, in other men's football, semi-pro football, there's a lot of people that have tried to challenge me in that respect. And they're going, no. I don't see it as them being aggressive to me, Apple Westcott. I see it as them challenging my rationale, my philosophy. And it's up to me to make sure that my philosophy is forged in fire. And that is the fire that it must be forged in. If I cannot withstand the challenge of rationale from players, then I've got no business in the changing room. So when Rondo challenges me or any player challenges me, I don't discourage it. I actually sit down and I listen. I need to hear what they're saying. If there's a line and they cross the line and they start being disrespectful to me, Apple, as opposed to the football, well, then I'll just put down a clipboard, and Rondo knows, and all the players know, and even guys that I work with at MK Dons, they know. If there's a line and I feel the line's been crossed, I'll say, listen, let me tell you something. First and foremost, I'm a man. First, before anything, I'm a man. So make sure that you're prepared to go as far as I'm prepared to go. Because if you do certain things, I'll do certain things. But I can guarantee you the things that I'm prepared to do, you're prepared to do. Because I take my life and me as a person serious. There's no way I'll go home as a man in front of my son and have a black eye. So it will never happen. It will never happen. I'll sooner go home dead. It will never happen. So me, I'm an all or nothing person. I'm an all or nothing. So if someone ever wants to step to me, they have to understand they need to be willing to kill me. They have to be willing to kill me. Wow. But that's me as a person. I cannot help that, and I will never change.
Before we go any further, I've been itching to play this clip, bro. I've just got to play it, bro. Forgive me, bro, in advance. But when this, no, I've been listening, but I'm seeing this clip. I'm like, I've just got to share it with you guys. So people listening to the stream, you know, you've seen it already, man. But I've just got to play it, and this for me just shows me the passion that comes through with Apple. I'm not gonna stop gassing, but I'm just gonna show it.
Fucking maturity and common sense. And if you ain't got the discipline, then fuck off. You guys are jumping around high-fiving. Yeah, you fucking conceded 3 goals against fucking idiots. Not one of them can even get on a fucking bench. Not one. They scored 3 fucking goals against you. The season starts next Sunday. And you guys are high-fiving, going, yeah, great, great, great. Fuck the good moments. You conceded 3 goals against them. Fucking joke. Banter. That's what you guys want, banter in Hollywood. Fuck the cameras. Turn the fucking camera off. Turn the camera off. Rondo, if you're happy with that, that's on you, because I know I'm not. No. There's 3, 4 players that should be in your office, in your conversation this evening, and they need to be getting fucking hell level. Because I'm not going to speak, because if I speak, it's going to be mad offensive.
Man. Now, I was there. That was not my footage. That was footage courtesy of Takers. Thank you very much. But I was there. Now, I'm a big man. I'm mid-30s. How are you rattling me? And you know I'm not even on the team, bro. You know what I mean? That makes no sense.
I don't even know what to say. Hold on one second. I'm having some technicals here with my camera. What's going on?
Technicals. While we doing these technicals, I was just saying, that was this season. Now, bearing in mind, they had actually won the game. You would have thought they would actually lost the game. They actually won the game. But this guy next to me is such a perfectionist that he wants to see a stellar performance. And again, it was. They might have conceded a few goals. Yeah, I see that. But at the same time, if this is how this guy can be when they concede goals and win a game, then boy, imagine when you lose the game. Anyway, over to you, sir.
Boy, you know what? I think I vaguely remember that game. Look, when we talk about football, there's a mentality. That's a minimum requirement, and it's just like sometimes good players do shit things, and sometimes shit players do good things. But what I was watching was a bunch of guys that were so in the moment of success that they were forgetting about the basics. And what I was trying to get these men to understand is that if you're prepared to accept mediocrity on this football pitch, what are you willing to accept in your life? And it's difficult sometimes trying to get these lessons across to people. And I don't like to say things like lessons because I'm not above anyone. Like we will work together. Like being a gaffer doesn't mean I'm above.
You're the coach, you're the head coach. So again, it is a lesson because you're coaching them, as you said. You're not just coaching them as footballers. You're coaching them as men. So again, I see you coming in there, and you're of that age where you're pretty much like a dad to them, innit? If not an older brother. So you are coming in there and teaching them not only just game management. I hear that all the time from you, game management, think smart and all the rest of it. So effectively, you're teaching them like how to manage the game, manage themselves, get there on time, take care of themselves, all the rest of it. So yeah, you are doing that, bro.
You know, the thing is, I say this even to like my grassroots under 16s, like the youth teams that I coach. I say this to everybody that I coach. Respect is a minimum requirement, but the things that are encompassed by respect is basically everything. How you perform, I take it as a personal thing, because if you look to me on that sideline for guidance, I'm there for you. Now I'm on the sideline looking to you on the pitch for performance. And for me, there's no excuse for poor work ethic. So when I'm looking at you and you're choosing to walk and you let a man walk past you and he puts the ball in the back of the net, like, you didn't just hurt the team, like you hurt me personally. Like, because I looked at you and I asked you, I demanded from you that you do this one thing, because I don't ask anything else of you. But yeah, if you call me at 3 a.m. in the morning, I'm there. If you text me and tell me you're stranded, I'm there. If you tell me you need £10 for petrol, I'm there. If you tell me my baby's ill, I'm there to talk to you and these kinds of things. So, you know, if I'm asking you to sprint 10 yards, sprint the fucking 10 yards. Don't give me the excuse about I was tired, because you're still on your fucking feet so you can run. Don't give me the excuse, this person was doing that and that person was doing that. I don't care about what the other person was doing. Because if you get jammed up with the police and you go to court and you're standing in front of a judge, what are you going to tell the judge? Yeah, but he robbed the bank. Yeah, but he done it. Yeah, but he done this and he done that and that made me do that. No, listen. As people, we're all in control of the things that we do. You are in control of the choices that you fucking make, nobody else. So when you choose to walk on the football pitch, or you choose to just stand off and let a man turn at you and create gaps in spaces, Patrick, then that's going to happen. But the lesson isn't in me telling you about yourself. The lesson is in you understanding that feeling, that emotion that you get when you fail. That's where the lesson is. I don't want to feel that again. I don't ever want to feel that again. But on top of that, how can I now use that to make me not just a better player, but a better person? Because now the next time I see something that's going wrong in my life and I've got choices to make, I'm going to make a better choice. And I'm not going to be lazy and I'm not going to be a sheep. Because ultimately, look, Clint, what I don't want is a squad full of sheep that only do the things that I ask them to do. I'm trying to change personalities. I'm trying to improve personalities. I'm trying to adjust personalities. This is not just about football for me, ever. It's about the people. If you can tap into the person, then the football just comes as a given. Like, it just starts to make sense, because the work ethic is everything. The respect is everything. If they love you and respect you enough, there's nothing they won't do for you on that football pitch. The football pitch is nothing. You know, the football pitch is nothing. They'll do everything on the football pitch. It don't even matter. Now we're talking about life. What kind of things do they do in their life? Monster had a daughter. I had a conversation with Monster. Let me tell you something about this young man. I told him before the season started. I said to him, Monster, there's greatness in you. The actual greatness in you. And again, that's perspective. But my perspective of greatness is greatness in that young man. What he's capable of. And when you meet Monster, like he's a shy, quiet, timid kind of guy. And he gets on the football pitch and he becomes Monster. I'm trying to get him to take Monster into the real world. Because if he takes Monster into the real world, the things that he'll be capable of, listen, man, he'll change his whole family's life. And now, more than anything, not just to please Apple, he's got the best thing in his life to ever motivate him to do anything good. He's got a daughter. And that is like the most beautiful thing. Listen, men having sons is one thing, because to a degree, we kind of want them to experience some struggle. Because without struggle, we kind of recreate weakness. Daughters, man, you have to protect them at all costs. You have to protect them at all costs, because we know how society treats women. I'm not even going to get into that massively, but we know how society treats women. And I don't want that for my daughters. So if there's ever a motivation to become a strong man, to become a strong person, that's the motivation. And Monts is just like, I love that kid, man. I hate to even call him a kid, but he's young, but I love him, man. He's just like, he's ferocious.
Yeah, man. Like when I came across him this season and I seen him, I was like, yo, this guy is phenomenal. Like, I say it's in the hair, man. He's my hair twin, man. Shout out Monts, bro.
No, you're not there. You're not there.
What do you mean, man? Give me that, man.
I'm not even going to talk about hair because it's long for me. It's long.
Shout out Monts, man. I love you, bro. Like, literally, he goes to my team every single time, every day of the week. Great, phenomenal talent. Again, arguably one of the goals of the season. That outside of the boot.
Listen, if you see some of the things, listen. maybe this is my fault because I always tell Ricochet, innit? I'm always on to him about not letting the cat out of the bag too much. Because you see the camera footage that we release, that's so diluted. It's so diluted. If you see the things that we're doing in games, if you guys see the things that we do in training, like months with some good direction, because in terms of athletic ability, he's got a natural athletic ability. He's technically improving. Give him a year. Don't be shocked if you hear Mons signed at a National League club and he's nicked to move to a League 2 team. Mons has got that in him. Rondo's got that in him. M's got that in him. Well, M's got the potential to go on and play a much higher than that. Like ads, like some of the boys, I could go on for days. Some of the players at Takers, like Andre, listen, don't even talk about Magic. Theo, unbelievable. Theo's probably the one that goes under the radar. And here's the thing: you see Theo. You see when I was talking to you about the bad attitude guys, all the bad attitude guys. Theo comes across as someone, body language, attitude. He comes across as someone that's a little bit muted. Maybe he's a bit stroppy. Listen, no way. That guy is a fucking lion, man. Like, and the things that he does for me on the training pitch and the way that he plays for me on a match day, can't no one tell me that guy's got a bad attitude. And so when I hear stories about this one didn't like him, I'm just like, you lot are idiots. Then you can't stand there and tell me anything about a bad attitude. Like, if you can't get the best out of someone, just say, I can't relate to him. And there's nothing wrong with not being able to relate to someone. Pass it on to someone who can. So, but yeah, no, like people like Monster, like there's some real potential there. All I'm trying to do right now is just adjust and build personalities, because in terms of football quality, yeah, technically we can improve on details and tactically we can improve on things. But if we're talking about actual understanding of raw ability, I would say there's 50 guys there at Takers that have got what it takes to be professionals.
No, that's for real. That's gonna, in fact, that leads me nicely on to what's been released today. So the fixture's been released today. Quite a few double headers, well, 3 in fact. Obviously includes you, so you're gonna be playing Stars FC in the double header. Also to look out for, obviously, Gower's playing Park Royals, Highgate Albans playing Hornsey and Highgate, and obviously Rising Ballers, who also in your league are playing Trabs on 4. So what's your thoughts on that? Obviously, you've got a double header coming up, obviously, when we come out of lockdown, so in less than 2 weeks' time. What's your thoughts on that, man?
I don't really have any thoughts on it. I don't care who we play. I don't look at the fixture list. I don't. Every week, someone comes to me and says, Apple, this is who we're playing. This is who we've got. And every time they're halfway through a sentence, I have to tell them quite abruptly, shut the fuck up, man. Like, you sound like such a little bitch. Like, why are you telling me about who we're playing? I don't care who we're fucking playing. Let the opposition worry about who they're playing. I genuinely, listen, and anyone that's ever been coached by me, they'll tell you, listen, if you've been coached by me, and when I say this, you know it's true, put the comment on, you guys will know it's true. I never give a fuck about anybody that we play against, ever, period. And I take that same mentality into academy football. When I talk to the 13s, the 15s, the 16s, and telling these boys, listen, give them something to think about. Don't even look at them in their warm-up. Don't even look at them. Make their house our house. You know, so when we take Jurassic Park on the road, bro, every game's a home game. That has to be the mentality. But that's not just, it's not fake. It's not just something that I say. It's something that I believe. That's how I am. Listen, I'll tell you something. I was Potter's Bar under 18s manager. And we had a group of first years and some under 16s. And we were bopping everyone. We were going around just thumping everybody up. And listen, the home games were more like away games for us because the pitch was so bad. We kind of go into a part of London where maybe our demographic isn't massively represented. And we're going other places, like we're going middle of West London. Listen, we felt at home there. I'm going into the home change room and I'm taking a shit in their toilet.
I didn't know where it was going on today.
Yeah, man. Listen, I ain't got time. Listen, I don't care. We're playing against. I don't make any adjustments to anybody else, to any other people's systems. This one plays that formation. I always tell people I don't care what formation they play, because after 10 minutes of them seeing how good we are, they will change the way that they play. I'm not interested in anything anybody's doing. Rising Ballers, the FC Dons, all of these guys, full respect to them because they're fantastic in their own right. They are what they are. But please understand that what I am is potent and what we are is potent. And I will never make a change to how we play, to what we're doing for anybody else, ever. So don't ask me about a fixture list because I don't look at the fixtures. I don't care who we play, double header, single header, Rising Ballers, this one, Manchester United. I don't care who we play. We'll turn up. My mentality will always be the same. My philosophy will never change. And I'm yet to lose.
Okay. There's your boy Cam said he ain't lying. I'll just have to bring that one up again. So shout out to you, Cam. Right. So earlier on in the chat, someone alluded to your combined 11. Now we've been going for an hour, apps. Like it's passed by quick.
My bad.
No. Listen, I thoroughly enjoyed it, man. I wasn't expecting to hear this side from you, but I'm glad I have. I'm sure everyone else in the chat is as well because I can see the comments coming through. But combined 11 now. Ideally, if you could do it based on YouTube teams, so people know them. But again, if there's anyone that sticks out from higher, then obviously stick them in. But yeah, let's get into it. So, goalkeeper. Who are you sticking in between the sticks? Is it someone from Takers? Is it someone from Rising Ballers? Is it Dons? Like everyone. Let me just say this: everyone's gone with Big G for various reasons. Leader. Outspoken captain, all the rest of it. It's up to you.
All right, listen. First off, and no disrespect to anyone, for everything that I just said a second ago, I'd be a massive hypocrite if I turned around and started naming people I've never met. I don't watch YouTube teams and all that. I'm not involved in it all. Like I see football and I love people and I love football. And the people that I know, the people that have stood out to me, they stood out to me for a reason. So my 11 might only end up being a 5, if I'm honest.
5?
Yeah. Everybody else has to prove themselves to me because for me, listen, look, I know you've asked me for one goalkeeper, but I'm going to give you 2 simply because of what I've seen and they deserve that respect. So if a part of that 5 are 2 keepers, and so be it. Gabzinho, let me say something about Gab at Takers. That guy is a fucking phenomenal goalkeeper, man. And he's young and he's hungry. And when we talk about people that can take in information and perform under pressure, as well as just be exceptional at what you do, Gabs is top tier. Gabs is one of the ones, he's one of the 15 that should be in professional football. Obviously, Big G, listen, big shout out to Big G, by the way. Listen, you know what? Let me tell you something about Big G. I've never met this guy a day in my life. Never met him a day in my life. But this guy messaged me on my birthday. He watched some videos and he said a few things to me. We had a conversation upstage between us. But the respect that I have for him, he reached out to me. Again, like I said, I never met him a day in my life. He reached out to me on my birthday and it touched me because I'm a guy, I don't celebrate my birthday. My birthday, when it's celebrated, is for my kids and for my behalf and for other people that care about me as opposed to me caring about me. And Big G reached out and we had a sort of a conversation and we spoke about motivation and those kind of things. And listen, I see that guy on Instagram and I see him on Twitter and I see his training. I see a man that's dedicated to his craft. And I realized something about him. He's not just dedicated to football playing. For him, it's emotional. Like it's mental. It means something to him. He wears his heart on his sleeve. All the other attributes, like him being a good leader, I couldn't tell you because I've never played with him. I've never coached him. But I hear how he speaks and I watch how he performs. He's a man that does what he says he's going to do. And nothing resonates with me more than a man that does the things that he says he's going to do. He goes through with what he says he's going to do. And he lives the life of the person that speaks the way that he does. He doesn't just say things, he lives that way. And that is just like, for me, I cannot leave a man like that out of a football team. I cannot, because look, we know how good he is. I've seen videos of how good he is, but the personality and the mentality for me when it comes to this sport is everything. So Big G definitely goes into that team as well. Can't
have 2 goalkeepers, man. That's a cop out, bro. Nah, mate. Listen. This is my show, baby. This is my show.
I don't play by your rules, B. I don't play by your rules, man. There's 2 keepers in the team. That's it. There's 2 keepers. Good luck scoring.
I'll be the referee when I have something to say about that. But anyway,
Don't even give me something ref, you know. But
we've got to shout out these 2 comments before we get on the next one. Rondo saying, "Can we get another hour?" I don't know, bro. I mean, we've got things to do. I mean, I've got a couple more streams to get on with, but we'll see where we go with this. And then Ricardo saying, "Best coach I've worked with as well." So shout out to you, Ricardo Murray, as well.
thank you, man.
Yeah, let's move on to this back 4 then. I'm assuming it's going to be a back 4. I never know. It could be a back 8 because, again, if you're already cheating with goalkeepers, then, boy, I don't know.
Listen, cheating's perspective, you know, you call it cheating because in your life and the way that you do things, you want 1 goalkeeper. I want 2. So I'm having 2. So,
I mean, it's kind of not like the rules of football. You know, you have like one at one time.
But this is fantasy, right? When you have your fantasy, you're thinking about things that are infallible to other people. So why you don't fantasy shame me?
Oh, this guy. See how hard he is to work with, man. I just wanted like an 11, man. Just an 11.
That in that defense, boy.
Please, 4 at least. Just 4. You know, I know you want to cram everyone in, but right back. Let me push you. Right back. Go on. Who?
Andre Ross.
Okay, aka Seamus Coleman. Okay.
Yep. Unbelievable talent. Yeah, I'm not going to say too much about him. Just baller. Centre halves, Jams. I've seen one other centre half that plays at SC Dons that I was really impressed with.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie, no disrespect, I don't know his name.
Okay.
I was really impressed with him. But there was also one at Rising Ballers that I thought was really good. What's his name?
Sing K. A lot of people say Sing K. Guy with the dreads.
Yeah. Guy with the dreads. Baller. So I'd go for him. I'll go for him next to Jams.
And who's the other one you said?
Jams.
Jamal.
Jamal.
Okay.
And then at left back, don't even ask me the question because you already know it's Mons.
Listen, I can't even disagree with you. I can't even listen. It'd be a discredit to my hair twin if I said anyone else, bro. So hair twins, gotta stick together. You know how it is. Afro and Afro ting. Yeah, left back Mons all day long. Right. What else we got in midfield? What we doing? 3s, 4s? I mean, I know it could be anyone, like any formation. So I'm saying could be 5 maybe.
Listen, in midfield. No disrespect to all of the Rising Baller guys. No disrespect to any of the SE Dons and the Lambeth guys. Listen, see that Takers midfield? It's untouchable. The Takers midfield's untouchable. So, Fabs, Magic, Rondo, Slaughter, Theo. Don't even ask me because I'll keep going.
Listen, the maximum you can give me is 5, and then you can have 1 up front. I'm being strict now. Listen, come on, boy.
How many did I just give you there? I gave you 5. I gave you 5, yeah?
Yeah, you gave me 5. So that means you can only have 1 up front. So if I've got to be strict now. Come on.
Done. That's it. Don't need to talk anymore.
Oh, so what? You going Fab, Slaughter, Rondo, you say Theo, and Magic?
Yep.
Yeah, that's the 5, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And then the 1 up top?
Don't even ask me. Listen, he's my son, isn't it? He's my son from another mum. Listen. No, I love Terry to pieces, but listen, boy, it's different. It's just different. Yeah. And the thing is, see our midfield. They can all play anywhere. Fabs, both footed, play where he wants. Magic does what he wants. He's literally listen, I'm not going to talk about Magic. That guy. Listen, I'm getting on to Magic anyway because it's not too late for him to push on. And listen, if going into next year, Takers still have him, then I've failed as a football coach and as a mentor because people like Magic does not belong in amateur football. Yeah. And that kind
too much talent, man.
That talent's an understatement, isn't it? But even that, we're talking about amateur football. That kind of brings me into something that me and you spoke about in the week.
Okay.
And something that I'm quite enthusiastic to talk about because I think it's a big thing for the movement. whole YouTube scene and the forget the YouTube scene. It's a big thing, the amateur scene, which is.
Can I just drop this? It's an exclusive, by the way. Try and put it on your thing. It came here first. Just saying that. I just want to put that.
No, for real. Listen, Clint, as I said to you, if when I drop this, it's going to be you that gets the information, and it's going to be you that gets it. So there's been conversations with the FA, with myself, about the creation of an amateur Premier League, and it's a national league. There's still conversations that need to be had, but at the moment, conversations are good, and it looks like I will be given permission to launch a national amateur Premier League. And if that happens, listen, I don't want to be negotiating with anyone. I want all of the best amateur teams in that league. Premier League, Championship, whatever we have to do, Premier League, First Division, Second Division, National League, see teams like FC. Listen, I don't want people coming to me saying, yeah, but we've got 10,000 followers, and just because they're a good team, they've only got 5,000. All of that to me is cack. Listen, if you're involved in amateur football and you want to do something that's good for the movement, but also something that's good for yourself as a club, something that's good for the players, and you want to boost their lives and give them something to be proud of, jump in the fucking league, man. Don't talk rubbish, just jump in the league. All of you will hit me up straight away and to say, Apps, put us in the league. Don't care what we have to do, put us in the league. And I'm telling you now, this under the football will blow Step 3 football away. We will be on par with the National League level. But the difference is we'll have the exposure that National League football doesn't get, that Step 3 and non-league football just doesn't get. So when I do make the announcement and we're saying, right, going into 21-22 season, the amateur Premier League is going to be a realistic thing. Let's get teams signed in. What I'm expecting is everyone to hit me up. If we have to start with 4 divisions, then so be it. If we have to do a knockout round robin tournament to discover who's going to start in their Premier League, who's going to start, then so be it. I don't really care. All I care about is giving these players a platform to perform on. And you know what? I can guarantee you now, we will have more players go from the amateur Premier League into professional football than the non-league football scene ever has. Guaranteed.
Yeah, talk that talk, man. Because again, imagine like you're talking about SE Dons, Beatties, Takers, Rising Ballers, like all of these teams there that are playing in this league, that league, and all the rest of it, all under one roof. There's no hiding. You can't go nowhere. You're all under one roof. Everyone claiming to be the best team or whatever, based on what, followers or people that you like? No, we can base it on 3 points. Did this team beat this team? Yes, they did. Did this team lose to this team? Okay, cool. So this is what we're talking about. This is the professional. It's basically run as a professional league, but again, for grassroots people. So I'm excited for it, man. I'm excited.
I want to take the power away from the mainstream media and let us become in charge of our futures. We don't need a bring in. We'll do this for you. We'll give you a shout out. No. We'll give you a shout out. Like that's listen, we're football for the people, played by the people. You know. So for me,
okay, that reminds me of something. Because what annoys me. Let me just go on to how I started Roots TV. I wanted to start Roots TV because I wanted to be the constant of grassroots football here. Not just like when BBC swoops in and does a little story with maybe Rising Ballers or SE Dons. No, do you know what I mean? I want to be the constant here. So you can come on my page like now or tomorrow or next week and you can see grassroots stories or grassroots people or goals going in, and that's it. That's it. So again, hearing that it just resonated with me. Sorry, carry on, bro.
No, but listen, brother, massive respect to you, Clint, what you've managed to do with grassroots. Listen, I remember when you first started the Instagram page. I think I was one of the first people that you posted on there. Because obviously we're in a few chats and whatnot. And I remember when you first started and it was like 50 followers, 100 followers. And I'm looking now, a big 6,000, 8,000. And I'm telling you now, over the next year, that's going to quadruple. And Sky and BBC will be coming to you for exclusives on Takers, on Rising Ballers, on DTFC, and all of these other teams, SE Dons. They'll be coming to you and that will all be coming from us as the league, the Amateur Premier League. So, I want people to understand that there is life outside of professional football. And what's professional to them, we don't care because this is professional to us. Because this is when we're finished grafting at work, this is still our passion. And why can't they also get the public recognition that they deserve as well? Because we're doing the same thing on the grass, or they're doing the same thing on the grass as the other guys. Some of them are a lot better, if we're being completely honest. If we're being honest, we're seeing better players. If you look at the top teams in amateur grassroots football, we're seeing better players regularly at that level than we're seeing in League Two and League One.
Of course.
Like,
and again, if we're talking about, let's talk about facts and stats and stuff. We're seeing more eyes on these people as well. Do you know what I mean? Than non-league and all the rest of it. Let's face it. And that's when the BBCs and Skies come swarming in, because they start seeing, what's Rising Ballers doing? What's Takers doing? That's when they start swarming in. But when they come in, it will be too late. Do you know what I mean? It'll be headlock. They have to come through us before they get to what's going on right now, because we built this while they were still talking about Harry Kane and Ronaldo and all the rest of it. We were still doing our thing down here. So, you know what I mean? Let's take ownership of what we're doing down here.
Absolutely. Listen, look, I saw an article published about government funding, rescue funding for sports, and I thought, yeah, that's good. And then I saw the list. You know, grassroots football didn't get a penny.
Nah, one there.
So when we capitalize and when we make what we're doing ours and it belongs to us, listen, you have to come and knock on the door and beg. You have to come and knock on the door with your tail between your legs and ask us for something, because you see how we're not getting back, we're not getting the support, but the people are supporting us because we're giving them something that they actually want to see. We're giving them real football from real people that have got, you know, these are not media machines and robots that are turning up and giving shit interviews. These are real guys that are pissed off, that are upset, that have been kicked up in the air, they're having fights in the football pitch. We're not trying to censor all of that. We're saying, no, this is real life. This is real life. You guys call it amateur, but this is professional to us. Because it's professional to us because it's our passion. So if we can put money in the club's pockets and we can put money in players' pockets and help them be more consistent, be in there and those sorts of things, and we can provide that with this platform, a national amateur league, a national amateur Premier League. By the way, listen, you brought a lot of clubs to my attention from up north in Birmingham, Manchester, Liverpool, Newcastle. Listen, you know, up north, yeah, everyone talks about London as the hotbed for talent. Let me tell you something. The Midlands and up north is mad, you know.
Mad. I remember the day they used to win everything, like teams from Newcastle, Manchester, and all the rest of it. And obviously, sometimes, like we're guilty of living just in our London bubble. Like we just see 8 teams and that's it. But you got to think grassroots is not even just in the UK, but across the world. Like I know we're talking about here in the UK, but grassroots is everywhere, man. And we just need to kind of get to grips with that. Like potentially, you know, Takers could be playing. Like look at Kitchener. Kitchener are based in Ipswich. Like look at Newcastle Elite. Like they're based in Newcastle. Teams in Liverpool and all the rest of it. You could be playing these guys and doing away days and all the rest of it. Like this is proper. Like this can go to is mad.
Like I said, look, I want this to become more than just a vision. It has to be a reality. And for it to be a reality, we need all of the clubs to come to us and say, right, we want to be involved in this. And obviously there's other discussions to be had about revenues and these sorts of things if that becomes a thing with regards to sponsors. But if we own the content, then of course we're going to be the receivers of the benefits, of all the rewards. So, but before we can do that, look, I don't want people saying, yeah, but we're comfortable in the Barnet Sunday League and this, that, and that. Listen, we have to come away from that. And we have to come together and say, right, this is the platform. This is the level. And the only way for us to do that is by coming together. So, you know, yes, we will have that rivalry on the touchline and on the football pitch. You know, as a football man, a man that loves this sport, I'm pleading with all of the managers, all of the owners of these clubs, let's get together. Let's make it happen. The same way that you all talk as sports fans, and you say that you want to see AJ versus Tyson Fury, you want to see Deontay Wilder, you want to see all these top fights. Well, let's see it then. Show me. Let's see SC Dons versus these ones from up north in Liverpool. Let's see it. Let's see it week on week. I want to see this level of entertainment every week, every day if we have to. Listen, the way that we can format it however we want. We can have football every day of the goddamn week if we really wanted to. 7 days a week. So let's look. We can come together and we can do it however we want to. This is real football played by the people for the people, and I can guarantee you now we'll have numbers bigger than the Championship, bigger than League One put together, League Two, because this is real football played by real people. And people don't need to look at us as celebrities and stars. They can actually come and talk to us because we're normal people. We don't need to be paid thousands and thousands of pounds to play a game that we love. No disrespect to footballers, by the way. No, we do it for free. Yeah. We're already doing it for free. Do you know what I'm saying? But I just want to bring that level of competition to its peak. I want it to become high. And of course, naturally, it's only ever going to be good for the country in terms of developing in football anyway. So, that's what we want to see. But I'm begging all of the club owners and all of the managers, listen, let's come together. If it needs all of us boys in London to get the movement started, then let's do it. But let's not time waste. Don't tell me about followers. Don't tell me about influence. Don't tell me about this and that. No. We're talking about football. Let's get the football to the level that it needs to be. Let's get it cracking. Let's go.
Let's go. Oh, bro, Apple. I could go on for another hour, seriously, but my belly's rumbling. But before, I'm not gonna lie, I'm starving. But before we go, is there any lasting message that you want to kind of drill home? Obviously, we talked about a lot of stuff. We talked about your career. Obviously, we talked about getting to Takers. We talked about obviously the first couple games coming out after lockdown. Talked about this new potential league. But is there anything that you might have missed or skipped over, or something that you just want to emphasize a little bit more upon?
No, listen, to anybody that's watching, thank you for watching, and anybody that knows me understands the sincerity and the realism behind the things that I'm saying. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and that's just life. And you can't be the right person for everyone. But anyone that's curious about me as a person, hit me up. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. DM me, even if you just want to have a random chat and just introduce yourself. Do it. Like, let's make these connections. I'm not saying let's be friends, but I'm saying, hey, let's make connections. Let's see what we can do for each other. Other than that, just live your passion, man. Everybody be happy, live your passion. Don't wake up in the morning and think about hating on someone else. Think about how you can improve yourself. Don't watch what that person's doing over the other side of the fence. Think about what you can do to improve your life so that they're looking over the fence at you. And other than that, the last thing I want to say is a big respect to you, Clint. Clinton, you're the catalyst for all of this. Look, you're giving people a platform. Your Fresh TV, all of these guys. Listen, the work that you guys are doing, and you're doing it out of passion. No one's giving you a big fat check and saying, "Yeah, come and do all of this. Take time out of your life." Like, you're doing this out of nothing but passion and love. And let me tell you something. People like you make this revolve. People like you keep this thing pushing. So thank you so much, not just for having me, but for having all of us. All of the people that's been on this live recently, and I've watched every single one of them. And just thank you very much for having all of us and put your time and your effort and your blood, sweat and tears, because it's costing you money right now to do all of this stuff. And bro, without people like you, none of us would be able to have the platform to even speak the way that we're speaking. So not even people like you. So thank you very much, man.
No, I appreciate that, man. No, I really do. I just seen a funny comment from Daniel saying someone thinking he's low on battery. It made me just laugh. But no, I appreciate your kind words, man. Yeah, it's come from a passion project to what it is now, 2 years down the line, and I'm sure you'll continue to grow as the scene continues to grow. But thank you for that, man. And again, thank you for everyone listening and watching as well. Again, if you're watching this back, just make sure you listen to everything, because there's so many gems in there to take forward from this as well. And again, like Apple said, hit him up. If you've got any queries, you want to speak to him about coaching or just life in general, just hit him up, man. He'll speak to you. Like, don't worry about the video that I played earlier. He's not like that all the time, man. You know what I mean?
I'm not like that ever. Listen, that's just touchline. Listen, I'll be honest. Look, I'm a people person. I'm always going to be a people person. And anybody that knows me will tell you the same thing. Doesn't matter if I don't know you, if I've never even walked past you in the street, just hit me up, man. I'm always happy to have a conversation with people. I'm not saying that I've got answers for everyone, but maybe you've got something that I can learn about. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, just hit me up, man. I'm easygoing. And we'll see what happens, man. But yeah, listen, Clint, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much.
No, I love, man. Appreciate that. And everyone else, listen out. Thank you very much. And again, couple more streams coming after this as well. I'm just going to get some food. Apple's going to get some food as well. And take care and see you guys all soon.